Welcome to West Nale Virus, everybody. Today we're going to be doing another mock draft. I think just round one for now. But yeah, so we're going to be doing another mock draft. It's going to be a little more random, but today we're doing it with Jared from The Facts Are... Jared? Nope. Jordan?
No, Jared.
No, Jared? Okay. Okay, I thought it was Jared, but then it says Jordan. Never mind. I got confused for a second. Jared from the Facts Are Facts podcast. I have not met him very many times. Caleb knows him a little better than I do.
No, because he's using his wife's Zoom. I know.
That's exactly right.
Yep, I got confused.
She works on this computer a lot more than I do.
And I think all their kids start with J2, so it only gets confusing from here.
It only gets worse.
So, backstory: Jared trained me in basketball, and I don't know if I got any better, but no, he was a good trainer. So, and then his wife was my history teacher in high school.
That's right. We go way back.
Yeah.
But
today is a mock draft that is it's different. We're gonna have a wheel, and Josiah's got it up. We got a wheel,
YouTube, you can see.
And there's gonna be different choices. Whatever it lands on, we're gonna have to pick. So it's gonna be kind of randomized. You guys are gonna get one respin. If you don't like it, you can say respin, and we'll respin it. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I think this draft, more so than any other draft that I've ever really paid attention to, we don't really know what's going on. We don't know who's going to go where. We know the needs, obviously, the teams, but who's going to go where, we don't really have a clue. So this is going to be more of a guesstimation mock draft, I guess you could say. But we're going to have a good time. We're gonna screw up everybody's mock boards. I was listening to somebody today, and they said that over 7 million mock drafts have been created this year.
Jeez.
Which is an insane amount of mock drafts.
That's a lot.
And I chalk it up to just, I think it's a fun defensive draft. And there's I would say less skill position needs other than wide receiver. Not big on
Everyone
quarterback.
wants wide receiver apparently this year, but there's a lot of wide receivers to get. So
there's a lot of need at wide receiver, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So before we start the draft, Jared, real quick, tell everybody about your podcast and what Facts Are Facts is all about.
So Facts Are Facts, I started a couple years ago, and then I picked it up again recently. And all I do is I go through and just give honest, non-BS stuff on sports. You know, nowadays everybody's a talking head, and everybody has to have some outrageous take on things. And so I try and give a little bit more substance to all of the arguments that are out there. The last one I just did was on talking about the GOAT debate, and how the GOAT debate is just an absolute stupid debate that's just thrown out there, and how it makes no sense that you're going to try and compare players from the 1920s to the 2020s. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of that stuff. It's how I look at sports, you know. It's I don't look at it and be like, oh man, we're gonna debate like Skip and whoever it is that week, Skip and Shannon or whatever. We're gonna talk like, hey, realistically, let's talk about, like, for instance, we talk about the playoffs that are going on right now for the NBA, and we actually give some substance as to, like, hey, maybe guys that shoot poorly, it's because guys actually play defense sometimes. You know, maybe not all the time, but maybe sometimes. You know,
what's defense?
That's right. There's a reason why maybe Kyrie goes 4 of 14 in a game. It's like, hey, maybe somebody decided to play some defense that game. It's not just because he shot poorly, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I do 10-minute segments, 10 to 15 minutes, because I like to keep them short and just kind of give you some info and just my thoughts on things. So, yeah.
So we're taking you completely out of your element, because this is not facts at all.
That's right.
Totally spinning wheel, just picking.
That's right.
It's going to be way longer than 10 minutes. So this is going to be good.
It's going to be fun.
Jared, we're going to give you the first spin and the first pick of the draft.
Oh, geez. All right.
Josiah, you're gonna get the second pick. And this is gonna be an ongoing thing, and then I'll get number 3. So it'll go Jared, Josiah, Caleb, and we'll keep going.
Okay, keep going through. All right.
Josiah, Jared and I can't see the wheel, so you are gonna have to tell us what we are drafting.
Okay.
We're trusting you.
Are
right.
we picking? The order is set though, right? We're just being told what we have to select for that team, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
There
All right, here we
is
go.
one option, however, on the wheel. That is trade.
Where
Do we
you have to make a trade. Yes. And I put trading on strict because I don't know what that's gonna do, but it might make it harder. So.
Oh no,
geez.
Josiah.
Oh jeez. Well, if I have the first overall pick and I have to trade it, I feel like I'll get at least something. Maybe I could take both the Kansas City first round picks.
There you go.
That might be something.
Yeah, that might
All
be
right.
good. All right.
All right, let's see what we get.
I don't know what they'd be moving up for, but yeah.
And Jared is picking offensive line.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I mean, let's be honest. Look, the Jaguars need offensive linemen. They absolutely have to protect Trevor Lawrence after that abomination of a first year. I think the obvious choice is to go with Evan Neal because he moves so well. A lot of people really like Icky though from NC State. You know what? Just give me the choice that I feel like is going to be the best choice. Give me Alabama. Give me Evan Neal. He'll be fine. He'll protect Trevor Lawrence. It'll be great there.
Evan Neal.
And I also heard
right.
Evan Neal is a better run blocker. So
Right.
and we were talking before we hit record, the Giants would be ticked to see Evan Neal go.
Yes. They need anybody and everybody that can block for them right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, especially for Saquon, for sure.
Yes.
Poor guy.
All right.
All right, Detroit Lions are picking a defensive lineman.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow, this is going pretty accurate so far.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I guess I didn't put edge rusher, so would edge rusher count on defensive line?
Yes, that
Yes.
counts.
Okay, so all right. Then I'm taking
Well- Go ahead.
Trayvon Walker from Georgia.
Okay.
He's
Okay,
my
that-
top. He's my top. He's my top edge rusher in the draft.
Well, he's been the biggest riser
maybe
for
a
sure
little,
in this
little
draft.
biased, but
Yes.
Yes.
He's definitely been the biggest riser. I think he's
Yes.
got probably one of the higher ceilings, I would feel like.
I agree. I've heard the Jaguars like him better than Aiden Hutchinson. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know that that's necessarily a good sign, given that it's the Jaguars.
Right.
But
There's
Well-
only there's only a couple teams in the NFL that really know how to screw up players, and that is like everybody else. Like the Jets are one of them, the Jaguars are another one, and the Lions are the last one. Man, they know how to take your career and just flush it down the toilet.
And after what's happening with Baker Mayfield, I
Yeah.
thought he was going to change the QB situation in Cleveland.
No.
It's not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen, man.
absolutely.
Going back to our facts, just watching Trayvon Walker fly up these draft boards tells me one thing, is that we like to get really excited. I shouldn't say we, but all these people that think they know football and like to talk about mock drafts like 12 months before it actually happens.
Right.
They don't really know what they're talking about. And then all of a sudden when it comes down to crunch time and the actual scouts of NFL teams and these guys that know what they're talking about start talking, we see the good players start to rise. And so I think that's one reason Trayvon Walker starts flying up draft boards.
Yeah.
That's very possible. All right, you ready for your pick, Mr. Houston Texans?
Oh gosh, okay.
The Houston Texans select a defensive player.
A defensive
Any
Just
player.
defensive
anybody.
player.
Okay.
Any defensive
Okay.
player.
Well, okay, I could go. Wow. I could go lots of ways on this. I think if they're looking at this board, I think they go Aiden Hutchinson. I've also heard Jermaine Johnson is flying up draft boards. I hate Oregon, but I think my favorite edge rusher is Kayvon Thibodeau, which I just think he's freaky athletic and faster than Aiden Hutchinson. Give Aiden Hutchinson three years working out, he'll be an absolute stud and freak. Oh gosh, but Houston Texans. I have to take a defensive player. Or I don't even know. I'm going to go with my favorite defensive player, and that's going to be cornerback Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner.
Sauce.
Sauce Gardner off
That's
the board at 3.
Mr. Sauce Man.
All right.
I don't think they would pass on Aiden Hutchinson, but I really like Ahmad Gardner in the state of the NFL right now. You really need to defend the pass, and so
You
I
do.
would take corner.
Look at what happened with Diggs last year for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that defense, I understand that Micah Parsons was Micah Parsons last year, but how much of that is literally having a guy on the backside that can take out one of your best offensive weapons on the outside, allowing guys like allowing Parsons to get to the quarterback, allowing all those guys to actually have some extra time. So good pick.
All right.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you.
New York Jets, pick
All
number
right.
4.
Picking their
You are
dead
selecting
Give me a defensive player.
a defensive lineman.
Okay, perfect. I'm taking
Wow.
Hutchinson. And here's the deal. I'm taking Hutchinson because if Aiden Hutchinson somehow falls to the New York Jets, I'm going to tell you this. If he falls and is selected on Thursday, everybody and their mothers needs to listen to the Rich Eisen show on Friday because he is the world's biggest Jets fan and he's also a Michigan Wolverine. And he would flip his lid if they could have Aiden Hutchinson. Because in my mind, there's two things. So everybody always talks about floor and ceiling with these guys. I think his floor is, and this is going to sound outrageous, I think his floor is something like Joey Bosa, who is good, but he's not always like the best defensive player in the world, but he's really good, right? I think his ceiling is like TJ Watt. Like in a few years, he could be TJ Watt. And I think when he comes right into the league, I think you could see him if they put him on the edge. I think he could have something like 10 sacks in his rookie year, so he would be an absolute gem for them to have. So that Aiden Hutchinson, I think, would fit really well with them.
Their D line would be scary. I think they have
Yes.
Quentin Williams. Do they
Yeah.
have some? I think they have somebody else. I'm not sure.
Leonard
Yeah.
Williams.
Or he might have been. I think he was straight to the Giants.
Oh, you might be right about that.
But either way, you have Quentin Williams and Aiden Hutchinson. That's insane.
Yeah.
That
It
is
would be
true.
Very, very good.
That'd be a really good team. All right, pick number 5, New York Giants. They are going to select any defensive player.
So
Wow.
much defense.
So much defense, which, to be fair, in my opinion, is how it should go. And I gotta go, I think.
I mean, I don't know if the Giants would take defense with their first one, but I mean, this is the point of it.
Yeah, I don't know they would. Maybe offensive line would be good for them. Might be a good pick. Honestly, it's tough here between. I think I have to select Kayvon Thibodeau because I don't know. It's hard.
Now, recently, Jermaine Johnson
It's hard.
has
He's
been
been
passing
flying
him.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm trying to sway you one way or another. I mean, the Giants, they could use a lot of things. So, and Thibodeau's not a bad pick. I just don't know if you're going to get what you're going to need right away with him.
The only thing that
My
I've
best-
heard about.
Oh, continue.
No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say my best cornerback in the draft is still available, Trent McDuffie from Washington. So, I'm thinking I'm gonna select him for the Giants. Giants.
Okay.
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, not like they need a whole lot of defense before their offense right now, but yeah, that definitely.
I would be
They need
The
it.
surprise of the draft. They go cornerback at number
Number 5.
They go corner at number 5. Oh my
and
God.
pass Stingley.
Yeah,
Pass over Stingley. That would be shocking.
yeah.
Why do you like McDuffie, Josiah?
Never allowed a touchdown in his entire college career. Never allowed a touchdown.
Okay.
That's like Sauce at Cincinnati since his freshman year. Never allowed a touchdown at Cincinnati. which is crazy because they actually played a couple of big games. Like you would say, oh, they're playing Cincinnati, but like they made it to the college playoff, and so they played some big teams.
Played some good teams. That is very true. Not much to argue about there.
All right, Josiah.
All right.
Hook me up with these Carolina Panthers at
Carolina
number 6.
Panthers, number 6, are selecting a defensive player.
Dude, what is going on
I
here?
don't know. Any defensive player.
All right.
Okay, well, this is usually the spot where people are debating about taking a QB, by the way. But Matt Rule, he's not taking a QB.
No.
Wow. My goodness. I would probably, since I have to go defense, I would take, one year they went, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, they went only defense their entire draft. Carolina did. And obviously I didn't look at their roster because I was not planning on taking a defensive player here.
Sure. I mean, right. Carolina's going to go defense at number 6. Sure, I can see it. Why not?
This is probably one of the best defensive drafts in a long time. I'm going to go Stingley Jr. here, Derek Stingley Jr. He's so athletic. I guess you could debate them taking Kyle Hamilton. I don't know if they need him. Yeah, I'm actually going to pass on Kayvon Thibodeau and Jermaine Johnson and go Derek Stingley Jr.
Derek Stingley Jr. All right, 3 cornerbacks taken in the top 6 picks.
Jeez.
That's a hot take right there. Probably not a good one, but
that is intense.
This is the point of the wheel, right?
yes, the wheel decides, guys.
I mean, granted, Josiah, you and I just passed on Kayvon Thibodeau and Jermaine Johnson, but hey.
It's true. And any of the linebackers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And any of the linebackers.
All right. Goodness. Well, let's move on. Well, so people don't have to think too much about that.
Let's not focus on those.
All right.
New York Giants. Let's get
come on, give me an offensive player. I mean, my goodness.
New York Giants pick 7. They've already picked Trent McDuffie.
That's right.
But now they're picking a defensive lineman.
Oh my gosh. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to
You could use your respin.
That is true.
I feel like is this wheel like shaded very heavily on defense?
Yeah.
Like there's like 4
Certainly
defensive
seems
slots.
like it.
There's like 4 defensive slots and then 2 that are actually offense or something, and then like 1 trade.
Yeah, so far we've gone offensive lineman, defensive lineman, defense, defensive lineman, defense, defensive lineman.
Oh my gosh. All right, so here's the choices. The choices are you get Jordan Davis as a defensive tackle, and you just everything is all stop.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason I would say that is because playing in the East, like you're not playing any great quarterbacks. Like Dak, I wouldn't even put as a great quarterback. So you don't really have to worry about like going and chasing him down. It's more stopping the run, I would say. And you want to jam it up. But man, if you could get Johnson, like he's still available. Here's the problem with Thibodeau. Thibodeau, everybody is saying that he doesn't try on every snap. And if you have a guy that you're drafting that high that's not going to try on every snap, now he could turn into Von Miller for all we know. But
right.
I'm gonna take Johnson Jermaine Johnson, just because he's gonna be a guy that can get in there and hopefully, jam up a few rush and then get to the quarterback, get maybe a sack here and there, and make a little bit of a difference. So it's not a great draft so far for the Giants.
Not awesome. No.
Not addressing their needs at all.
I mean, they need those things. They just
not even.
They also need
They also need somebody to throw the ball to, and
Someone to
maybe
throw the
somebody
ball
to
to.
block.
Maybe someone to throw the ball. They need someone to block for the guy throwing the ball.
Hey, here's what I will say. Look, I think that Jones is fine. He turns the ball over too much. But if you gave him a weapon or two, like because Saquon's already like always out. He's always injured. But if you gave him a weapon or two and you gave him somebody to actually maybe like slow down the rush, I feel like he might make better decisions. You know what I mean? But I feel like when you're always getting pressured and you have no one to throw the ball to and no one to turn around and really hand the ball off to consistently, like the thing that always made great quarterbacks like bail them out was great tight ends, right? Everybody had somebody to dump the ball off to or a good running back or something. Like who's like I know Evan Ingram is somebody that's like kind of okay, but like he's not Travis Kelce or George Kittle or
Right. And
it might be a good.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it might be a good idea for the Giants to try and get a different running back in this draft later on.
That's exactly
try and
right.
trade away Saquon maybe for see if anyone will still give him a first for him or something like that.
Totally agree with you.
Might be a good idea, but
so Josiah, the way I lined it up, you get your team's draft pick. So don't ruin this one.
All right, here we go. Atlanta Falcons, pick number 8. They're selecting.
Gets a wide receiver.
Oh my gosh, I almost had my choice. Defense. Just a defensive player.
They could use some defense. They could use some defense.
They really could.
It's not a worst pick in the world.
No, it's not. They might could use a linebacker here. I don't know that I don't know if I believe in Andrew Booth enough to pick him at 8. Thibodeau is still available. I don't like the he doesn't try on every snap. I hadn't heard that yet, so
yeah, that was one of the knocks on him is like looking at his tape was
oof. That's painful to hear. Kyle Hamilton is still available. That might be a good pick. Though honestly, I think Thibodeau is talented enough. I think
he is.
I think I'd select Kayvon Thibodeau right here because he's still available. They need rushers.
That's exactly right. And if he works out, if he pans out, like you have a great edge rusher.
Absolutely. You know? And they need it too, real bad.
They do. So. You do. You need somebody that can get some pressure.
Absolutely. All right, Caleb. Not your team. The Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't really like this team.
No.
I'm going to screw them over right now.
I was going to say, draft horrible. Draft a quarterback.
Well, they can't draft anything. They have to trade.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what you can actually trade for this.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
How does this work?
Well, with the team, they're moving up to the 9th spot. They would have to be moving up for somebody that the Seahawks would be taking. And oh gosh, I would guess, and the way our draft is going, they're probably like, oh my gosh, look at all these players available. Look at all these linemen.
Offensive linemen, yeah, that'd be a big one.
Yeah.
Wide receivers.
Yeah. Can we just do a swap with
or QB?
Can we try? I want to try and get an O-lineman for the Houston Texans at pick 13.
Okay.
Can we swap them and give them just the second pick? Will they accept that, their second round pick?
Oh, well, if you give them 1 and a 2, I think that'll go through real easily. I was thinking like you give them like the first round at 13, and then you give them like a 4 or 5.
That works too. Whatever works for the website that we're using, Josiah. Make it happen.
I don't know how the website works, but I think that would be the best thing is like give them it might take it to where you just swap them picks in the first round. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it might take it to where you can do that. I don't know if that's
I don't understand how this site works. I'm trying to figure out. I'm clicked trade.
And you click the swap, and then you click on who's behind him right away. You wanted to switch with the Texans at 13.
Yeah. hit trade, then
That would be so. It'd be so interesting for them to switch trades with someone within their division. That would be fun.
Okay, so you want the who we got? Rams, Niners. The Niners don't have a first round draft pick, so they could move up.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so if you did, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? What do you have to give them?
What would you see? Josiah, you might have to go and make it really like not strict. What's the opposite of strict? Flexible.
Loose.
Loose.
Flexible.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me take a picture real quick of what we've got already.
I have it down.
Okay.
What I think would be really interesting here, just to buy time for Josiah, is you talk about that in the same division. If the 49ers trade the Seahawks, they give them Debo, and then they move up to number 9, and they take a wide receiver here. I don't think that Debo gets traded, but I'm just saying it would be interesting to see.
That I don't know, man. Is like I could see Debo getting traded.
Oh, really?
I could see him getting traded.
Who did the Jets select? We had Evan Neal, Trayvon Walker, Ahmad Gardner,
Aiden Hutchinson. I would love to see the Raiders
McDuffie,
move back into the first round, because I'm a big Raiders guy.
Dingley.
I don't think they would move this high.
Giants selected
Jermaine Johnson and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Johnson.
Hey, is Drake London fully healthy? Do we know that for sure?
No,
Right.
I don't think he's healthy. But even with that being said, I would like to know, who is your number 1 wide receiver in this draft?
If he's healthy, I would take him first because I like a possession wide receiver. And I think he's big enough to be a possession guy for you. He might not be able to burn people, but look at what DK can do at his size. And I'm not saying he's DK. I'm just saying, like, look at Calvin Johnson, who was 6'4", 6'5", like whatever he was. You got guys like, if he could be a guy that gets just a possession receiver for you, he's not necessarily, but you don't need burners. Look at Mike Williams. Look at Allen, the Michael
Chargers.
Thomas. Yeah, like you have tons of guys that are bigger that can go and get the ball. Like Mike Evans, for crying out loud. He's not a burner, but man, he has 1,000 yards, like clockwork and now granted he has Tom Brady throwing in the ball now, but even before Brady was throwing in the ball.
There's also the argument that you get the burners that take the tops off the defense. You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Right.
They're both on the same team now. We'll see how that works. The Chiefs had a lot of those guys, and I think they both work. My number 1 guy is Jameson Williams, but I know he tore his ACL. So, but I do like big possession guys. Josiah, you figure this thing out?
I'm working on it. Hold on. Okay, pick 5. Giants had McDuffie.
Yep.
Okay, pick 6.
Oh, I can hear your bird, Josiah.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He's perched himself right next to my webcam. He's hungry.
So if you're listening on Spotify, head over to YouTube, West Nale Virus. You can check out Josiah's awesome room. That is one ugly bird.
It's a baby bird. My cat tried to kill it. State bird of Georgia, brown thrasher.
Man, if you put it on strict trading, you really have to
you can't do anything.
You have to I'm looking at it right now. I'm just fooling around with it. If the Jets wanted to trade the 10 pick and Seattle wanted to trade them for it, you have to give up your 9 pick in order to just get the trade to go through. And not even that. You have to give them the 9 pick, and then you got to give. This is hard to this is a puzzle that you have to figure, the hardest puzzle I've ever seen. This is not this hard in the NFL.
When
There's
I
no
did
way.
this, I set it up so that I could manually enter any trade and it would accept it.
Okay,
I
I've
don't know what you
got
guys are
it
doing.
like that now. I've got it, and I have it. I had it the way I had it before. It wasn't letting me pick the It wasn't letting me pick the round 2 through 7 picks
Oh yeah,
in this
yeah.
draft because I only had it set up for the first round, so I had to restart it again.
I
But
see.
I've got it now. I've got all 7 rounds.
Don't put it on strict. That's for sure.
Don't do that. No.
Back in business.
Back in
Houston
business.
Texans move up to number 9.
Okay.
Trade
They're 13th.
swap picks. Yeah, swap
13th
picks
for
with
the
the
9th.
Seahawks.
Okay.
So we'll keep Seattle in the first round, and then we'll take Equanwu, Ike.
Okay.
okay.
So you're saying just the swap picks plus the Texans second? Is that right?
Just swap picks right now. If you can get that to go through, just swap the picks.
I mean, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, perfect.
He
Just
put it
so
on
that
free for all.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Texans will do more than just that, but they're going to trade up to number 9 and take.
They're going to trade up and take the tackle.
Yep.
Take Equanu? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. All right.
It's an interesting move for them.
I think that they could use tackle. I like Davis Mills, their quarterback, and they should build around him and get him a good tackle protection.
He had a great year last year. Imagine if you actually had another like wide receiver out there that was a playmaker.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I think wide receiver is so deep right now.
When's their next pick? Is their next pick now in the second round?
Texans?
They probably would have given up more. They probably would have given up something.
They probably would have had to trade back their second for maybe a third or something.
Yeah.
So that would be rough for the Texans, but
yeah, you're giving up a lot for an offensive tackle. But okay, I like it.
All right, Jets are up next. I believe it's you, Jared.
Yeah. Oh boy, another defensive player, I'm sure.
Linebacker.
Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Linebacker. First time we've got linebacker, so they already have Aiden. They already have Aiden Hutchinson.
I mean, look, the draft. You have Aiden Hutchinson fall to you. You know what they really want here is they really want to go out and get a wide receiver for Zach Wilson to be able to throw the ball to. But since their hands are tied,
you can respin. You can respin if you want.
Yeah, but if I respin, I'm going to get any defensive player at that point.
Yeah, true.
And although that would be better because I feel like there's a couple of good corners out there. They'd probably rather have a corner than a linebacker at this point.
Booth, Kyle Hamilton's still available as well. Safety.
But you're on linebacker right now.
Yeah.
Right now you're on linebacker.
All right, here's the deal. They really, really like and they can trust the SEC for defensive players. So they're going to go and they're going to take somebody that's not at the top of the draft board for anybody at the linebacker position. And they're going to go get Nakobe Dean because he flies from sideline to sideline. And let's be honest, that defense gives up a lot of sideline to sideline plays. So they need someone to get out there and actually tackle somebody. They're going to take Nakobe Dean. And I feel like actually, funny enough, if they can get those two players in this draft somehow, I don't think Dean is going to be somebody they picked that early. But if they ended up getting those two on their defense, I think their defense is actually really good at that point.
That's a big upgrade. Yeah,
that's a huge upgrade, I feel like.
If they could go, yeah.
It's not what they want.
Amazing.
At the first round, that's not what they want at all, but I think that would actually be good. I think a trade, honestly, from there, that's where they're going to trade for, that's where they're going to go out and acquire the Niners.
There you go. Debo.
Gosh, Debo.
They do have 2 very early round 2 picks.
They do, very early.
So anything they still need, they can easy get a good wide receiver in the second round.
Yes, they could
probably. Yeah.
I think Jacoby Dean might be there in the second round because I mean linebackers are not like the most important thing in the world, but I feel like he could easily slip all the way till there, and I think he's a steal at the second round.
Yeah, if he makes it to the second round, he is a steal in the second round. All right.
I think there's going to be a lot of steals in this draft because there is a ton of defensive players in this draft.
There are.
Yes.
There's a lot of good defensive players.
All
what do you
right.
got?
Washington Commies are selecting a quarterback.
Oh.
Let's go! Malik
right,
Willis.
That's a really good pick, man. A mobile quarterback for them would be great.
That's what I'm taking.
They have Carson Wentz right now, who I don't trust. So
Look,
I don't mind.
Here's the problem with Carson Wentz, okay? Yes, he had the 2 bad games at the end of the season, okay? I understand that. But when you look at the totality of his season last year, he was hurt for a while. I get that. And that's his biggest problem. He cannot stay healthy because for the life of me, he thinks he's a defensive player or something. So he like plays like that for some stupid reason, not knowing he's a quarterback. But when he was healthy, he actually had a really good year up until the last 2 games. Like, so it's just tough because he hasn't been able to stay healthy at all. And like,
That's my problem with him, though. Is I don't think he will stay healthy.
I don't think he can play 17 games. I don't think he can do it.
I agree.
He just doesn't play the position the right way, meaning staying healthy.
It's the most important position, dude. We need you to be there.
Right.
All right.
I'm interested to see actually in real life what they do here because they got rid of their All-Pro guard. They have Carson Wentz. Are they going to protect him? Do they help out Terry McLaurin? Because I feel their only weapon is Terry McLaurin. Or do they go defense? All right, they have Antonio Gibson.
They do have Antonio Gibson.
They have Antonio Gibson. They also have, man, I forgot his name right now. Who's their tight end?
That's what I'm trying to remember right now.
I literally can't remember his name off the. Oh, Logan Thomas.
Oh yeah, Logan Thomas. Yeah.
Just because.
Listen, they didn't have a great year last year. I'll give you that. Okay. But Logan Thomas 2 years ago had a great year, and Scary Terry had a great year, and their offense was cooking at times. So I think
but weren't they playing with
they were playing
Fitzmagic.
Wasn't
but
Fitzpatrick the quarterback?
Not for that long though, because he got hurt so early in the season.
Yeah.
But yes, they definitely could use another weapon. But
that's a streaky QB.
If there ever was a streaky QB in the NFL, it was Fitzmagic. Yeah.
He is. Love watching him play though. Love.
I do.
The guy.
You just never know what's going to happen. Is he going to be like Peyton Manning one day, or is he going to be like Blake Bortles? Like you just don't know.
Those are the 2 options.
He's like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. All right, Minnesota Vikings, pick 12.
All right. This is you, Caleb, right?
Oh, you just missed wide receiver, but you're on your choice. So anything you would like to pick for the Minnesota Vikings.
This is a really easy pick for me. I'm going to go best player on the well, I say that, but never mind. It became a little harder.
Okay.
Kyle Hamilton is still on the board.
He is.
But I really like Jordan Davis. And I think he's freaky athletic. They could use somebody on the defensive line. But we're going to go with Jordan Davis.
Okay. Jordan Davis, drafted.
And I know a lot of people have been talking about Devontae Wyatt actually being a better choice. But I would rather have Jordan Davis because how the defense in the NFL plays. You're not going to run into a bunch of teams running no huddle spread offense.
That's a good point.
So, because I know that's his knock is his stamina. But if he can get in 2 plays, maybe I'm sure he could play 5 plays and then they formation sub him out.
And he slimmed down some as well since even since the national championship. So
Yeah.
he
There's still space for big defensive tackles in the NFL, man. They create holes for people.
yes. I mean, yeah, and that's the other thing. You rush a linebacker
clog
or a
holes.
safety down the
Yes.
middle, right
They
behind
create
Jordan
holes,
Davis. Boom.
Warren Sapp was on the Rich Eisen show one time, and he even talked about that. He was like, look, I could do what I could do because I knew that behind me, they were going to come through the holes that I created. So I didn't always have to get to the quarterback. My goal was just to basically get past the guy in front of me or take space with me. And they would be able to make the play if I couldn't make the play. And I thought,
and that is something that, Jordan Davis might be one of those players that statistically he may not look like one of the best players in the NFL, but he may be insanely useful to whatever team he's on.
That's exactly what you need.
Physically, he looks like he could be the best player in the NFL, though.
The guy is absolutely terrifying, and I'm pretty sure he runs faster than I do. So
I was going to say,
I don't.
He moves, man.
All right.
Even if he doesn't, I don't want to test it.
Yeah. Jared gets the trade.
Jared gets the trade. The Seattle Seahawks, now at pick 13, are taking anything Jared wants.
Oh,
your choice. What do the Seahawks need? I mean, they need offensive linemen, quarterbacks.
They do need an offensive lineman. So here's the problem. We like a guy like Kyle Hamilton would be perfect with Jamal Adams, but you already have Jamal Adams there. You know what I mean? And you already have two good wide receivers. Okay, so you don't need a wide receiver. Like I would say Drake London is perfect, like USC, Pete Carroll, let's go. Just run it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you already have two good wide receivers. You know what you need is a good quarterback. Do they take Kenny Pickett? Do they dare do that? Like, they trade back and they get Kenny Pickett, maybe? I don't know. There's some people that are in love with him. Matt Corral. I mean, okay. Here's what it is. What does Pete Carroll love more than anything in this world? He loves a good defense. So even though we've only got defense so far, we're going defense again, people. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Pac-12 player that he would know, and we're going to go Devin Lloyd out of Utah.
Devin Lloyd, that's a great pick right there.
And we're going to bring back the Legion of Boom. We just lost Bobby Wagner. We're going to try and replace him with Bobby Wagner 2.0.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
All right, next up, Baltimore Ravens. I got a Baltimore Ravens jersey right there. There we go. Picking for him. Come on. Oh, my choice. Let's go. I think that's 3 in a row.
All these early in the top.
I won't lie. Kyle Hamilton is really tempting here. The fact that he's fallen this far, but Devontae Wyatt from Georgia, the other defensive lineman from Georgia, who I actually like in terms of being a playmaker. I like better than Jordan Davis. I think I'm going to take him. I think he's the biggest other option at defensive line. They need defensive linemen. Though, wide receiver, I won't lie, is tempting here.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, who is he throwing the ball to right now?
Not a lot of people. I mean, he's throwing... Yeah, I'm going to take a wide receiver.
That's it. All you need is a good tight end, man. That's how Tom Brady made a living for all these years. Short white guys and tight ends. That's it, man.
That's true. I'm going to take Drake London out of USC.
Wow.
All right. It's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
I'm going to take Drake London, wide receiver USC. They need wide receivers.
He's a possession guy, too. Like, he's a big guy that can go get the ball, and
that's what
exactly
they need. Marquise Brown is not a possession guy.
He's a burner.
He's a burner, and so is everyone else on their team. So,
well, that is really interesting because they took Rashad Bateman last year, and I think he's a little bigger and kind of a possession guy.
But he was hurt all year last year. He did okay. Or no, he wasn't. He just didn't do anything, did he?
Yeah.
He wasn't hurt. He just didn't do anything.
So the question is then becomes, do we take a wide receiver because Bateman isn't producing after year one? It's year one.
Or do we hope he produces?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's
definitely
fair. I
did.
did forget about the Bateman pick. But I don't know.
I mean, it's not a bad pick. You can't go wrong with that pick.
Yeah, I'm stuck with it, so I'm happy with it.
I think London is a safer pick than Rashad Bateman was.
Yes.
I think when you bring in another young receiver, it only is gonna basically make Bateman either play better or he's gonna move on. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And hey, no one's gonna whine about two really good receivers of being on their team.
I was gonna say, right?
So if they both work out, oh well.
That's right. All right, Caleb. What do you get for the Eagles?
Philadelphia Eagles.
My choice or wide receiver, please.
No, unfortunately, you are going to be trading this pick away, Caleb.
Ooh. Which is interesting because you have a 15 and an 18 already. Like the next 5 picks, 4 of them are the Saints and the Eagles. It's like 4 of the next.
Oh my gosh, that's right. It is.
That's insane. Oh,
okay.
Gosh.
I would like to see. Wow. Okay.
Niners.
Who's going to move up? I was thinking about the 49ers getting into the first round.
They're going to have to give up a lot, though, for this pick.
Let's swap.
We'll just give up.
Let's trade.
I was going to say.
Yeah, you have Devontae Smith and Deebo Samuel. That's insane.
That would be crazy. They can do that.
Yeah, let's do it. 49ers.
There you go.
All
Put
right.
the Niners in there. They get Deebo. They give up Deebo to Philly. They move up.
I'm going to give you a round 7 from the Niners in 2023 because I can't do nothing. But there you go. 49ers, pick 15 for Deebo Samuel.
Okay, so then I just get to pick whoever I want, right?
Or should
yeah, that's what I did last.
That's what you did last time.
So,
okay.
Okay, so the 49ers, they just got rid of Deebo. So I'm gonna go with my number 1 wide receiver in the draft. That's Jameson Williams.
Really
interesting.
Yeah. Even coming off the injury.
I think so. I really like
rough
him.
Injury.
Wow. I mean, that's just like you haven't seen him do anything. You know,
I watch college football.
It could well, but
no, I mean, like
since
you
the
haven't
injury,
seen, like and he's not even going to be able to play the first couple of months of the season because he's not going to be
right. And even if he does, he might not get his speed back for another 2 years.
It'll be interesting
if he does. But
if he gets healthy, though, look, Adrian Peterson tore his ACL in the next year, set a rushing record. You know, like
it's not impossible to do really well.
It's not impossible.
And Nick Chubb tore his ACL right before going into the league. I think it was Chubb. So
there definitely is signs that they could. All right, that's fine. That's good.
All right. Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. All right, pick 16, the Saints. Jared, you are selecting.
Give me a wide receiver or my choice.
Unfortunately, you're selecting a defensive back.
Well, there's one that has. I would respin if I were you.
That is
when you say defensive back, can I take Kyle Hamilton technically if he's a safety, or do I have to take corner?
Corner or safety, either one.
Okay. I don't think they'd be upset by taking Kyle Hamilton here. If he falls all the way to 16, I feel like, look, they have a pick at 19. There's still Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson on the board for wide receivers. I'm going to take Kyle Hamilton here.
It's not a bad, it's a great.
They have held Brady the last 3 or 4 times they've played him. They've held that offense to like amazingly low points, and they've been on the brink at least one time and have beaten him the other 2 or 3 times. So they definitely are capable. That defense, man, you can lock up another good defensive player on the backside, and you put him with Cam Jordan on the front end. You got yourself a nice little defense,
And Marshawn Lattimore.
Yes, you definitely have guys that can play on that Saints defense. So I'm going to take Kyle Hamilton. I think that's an easy
All
pick
right.
at 16.
Yeah,
The Saints are probably saying, what stupids are
how do we
running
get
these
this
programs? How did
guy?
Kyle Hamilton fall to us? Thank you.
That's right. That's right.
All
Who's
right.
drafting these players?
Pick 17. LA Chargers are selecting anything I want them to select.
Wow.
Okay, so here's the thing. The question is defensive lineman or wide receiver?
Well,
And
they
the
did just
options-
get Khalil Mack
They did just get Khalil Mack,
to go with Joey Bosa.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
but getting an inside defensive lineman, getting Devontae Wyatt, is what I'm thinking about. That would be great. I mean, their defensive line would probably be the best line in the country.
Yeah.
That would be
Not
scary.
even close. But they do kind of need a receiver. I mean, Keenan Allen, he's not bad, but he's getting older. Mike Williams has not proven himself to be amazing. They don't really have anyone else. I said that Julio should sign with the Chargers, but he hasn't.
Well, maybe they trade for somebody too.
Yeah.
So
So
you can't go wrong drafting one here.
you can't go wrong drafting one. And here's what I would say. Herbert, I would try and find a wide receiver that can outrun Herbert's arm. just to
Well,
see.
Williams
Just
is
to
off the
see.
board, unfortunately. So,
Yeah. Like, I mean, Olave, what did he run at the combine? Didn't he run a 4.3 at the combine?
I'm trying to remember, but there were a few receivers who ran really, really good combine numbers.
Olave ran a 4.26 40 at the combine.
All right, well, frick it. Let's take Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State. Why not? At
That's
this
awesome.
point, I mean, the Chargers, if they don't make a Super Bowl run already, then they're never going to.
I mean, like, seriously, last year, like, they just.
I don't know what especially now that they have Khalil Mack and they've shored up their offensive line.
Who'd they get on the
a little
back
bit,
end?
and-
Jackson. They got Jackson on the back end to go with Derwin James.
Yeah.
Like, I just, you know what the thing is? Here's the thing. The Chargers are always going to charger. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. Like, they're just always going to find a way. Like, they have a quarterback who will be in the Hall of Fame one day, just like Phillip Rivers, I believe. And he'll be better than Phillip Rivers because he's more talented. I don't know if they'll ever even get close to the Super Bowl still. No matter how good their roster is. Like,
I know.
It
I don't understand how.
Well, it doesn't help that the AFC West is absolutely loaded this year.
The NFC West went from the most like stacked, like defense, just so good, and now they're one of the worst divisions because if Debo gets traded, the Niners are now officially going to be pushed back so far. Seahawks took a huge step back. Cardinals have their own problems, and they traded away Chandler Jones. Like, the Rams are going to run away with that division, and now the AFC West went from like one of the worst to now easily the top of the top and the best conference, the best division in the best conference, because the AFC is loaded this year.
Oh man.
Well, Caleb, you
All
were
right.
supposed to pick for the Eagles, but you couldn't because they traded their pick away. Now you pick for the Eagles again.
Oh,
And this
man.
time, you pick anything you want.
Oh, thank you. All right, I was hoping you'd say that. I'm going to go with my number 2 linebacker. No, I said quarter. Number 2 linebacker, Quay Walker out of Georgia.
All right.
Okay.
Quay Walker.
I really like him.
He's a good
my
player.
I like him better than the Kobe Dean.
Wow.
So
That's a hot take right there.
but the reason I say that is because, well, I was saying this: the style of play that the needs for the Eagles, they need a big linebacker that can tackle, and I think Quay Walker is better at that than Nakobe Dean.
That's fair. Nakobe Dean, the biggest thing to know about Nakobe Dean is he is a really smart, kind of defensive QB kind of guy. At least he was at Georgia. Nakobe Dean was. But
Right.
Quay Walker, he's a good athlete. So that's a good pick.
Okay.
Now, that being said, Jared, you are selecting for the Saints.
Again. Let's do
Again.
this.
And this time, you're taking anything you want.
Oh, thank goodness. Give me a wide receiver. Let's do this. Michael Thomas can't stay on the field to save his life, man.
He can't even come on the field. It's not even that he can't stay on the field.
There's
He
literally
can't get on the
caution
field.
tape around the field. It's like you may not enter.
Yeah.
Okay, so the choices are. So Garrett Wilson didn't run the best 40 time, but clearly he's amazing.
He's
Give me
good.
Garrett Wilson. Give me Garrett Wilson.
He's a really good route runner, and that's what they lost when Michael Thomas continued to
Thomas
not play.
is not a burner either, and he was pretty good. So
I was gonna say, I think he's most like Michael Thomas on this draft. He's Michael Thomas 2.0.
yeah,
I think that's
I think
fair.
that would be a good. I think they'd be happy to be able to get a good defensive player and a good wide receiver at those two positions. So, all right,
All right.
let's see it, Steelers.
Steelers, they are going to select, or I'm going to select, a defensive back.
That sounds
Okay.
about right for the Steelers.
Yeah, they do need that. What do they need worse? Oh,
QB.
matter. That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I'm taking Andrew Booth. I don't know too much about the safeties. I like Lewis Seen out of Georgia, but I don't know how well he's going to translate to the NFL. He might be great. He might not be. I don't know yet.
Okay.
But
Where I see Lewis Seen, I see him kind of what the NFL is doing with most of these bigger safeties that can tackle, that are really good at tackling, is moving them to a hybrid linebacker type.
That's exactly right. It's what everybody
Yes,
does in
I
Madden,
agree.
and now they're doing it in the NFL.
I agree. And the interesting thing is Jalen, old
That's what they
Jalen
do.
Petrie Dish is listed as a safety in here, but not when we did it before. We used Pro Football Focus, and he was listed as a cornerback. I don't know what he technically plays. I can't remember, and I don't know
he's
too
gonna
much about
play-
Daxton Hill from Michigan, but
I'll tell you, whenever it comes to the NFL, you will play whatever your employer tells you you're going to play.
Yeah,
I'm taking Andrew Booth.
Okay.
Guy's got hops. All right, Caleb, you're taking
Oh yes.
somebody for the Patriots. You're
Oh,
picking
gosh.
any wide receiver.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
They could use a wide receiver.
Okay, so remind me who their wide receivers. They have N'Keal Harry.
N'Keal Harry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all. Just kidding.
That's all. Well, they have tight ends, but they don't have
got
wide
tight
receivers.
ends like crazy.
They're a tight end system where they run two tight ends, and it's all about protecting the quarterback and then having him get the ball out early. It's exactly what they do with Brady for all those years. Protect, move the ball down the field methodically.
Oh, I forgot. They have Jacoby Myers.
Okay, well, I'm thinking they draft the fastest quarterback.
Oh,
and
they also-
move him to slot.
They also drafted. They also are traded for Devontae Parker.
Yes,
Oh,
they
okay.
did trade for Devontae Parker. The problem with Devontae Parker is he hasn't been able to stay healthy.
No, he's never
So-
stayed healthy for a single season. So I doubt
So
that's gonna happen.
that's the problem.
Well, okay, so I know where I'm going to go here. I really like a big physical wide receiver for them. I think they tried to do that with N'Keal Harry, didn't pan out, and they go. I mean, they would never. Bill Belichick would never take a wide receiver in the first round, but here we are. Treylon Burks out of Arkansas.
All right,
Okay.
Treylon Burks out of Arkansas.
I mean I think the best wide receiver to fit the Bill Belichick system is Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. Super athletic, smaller, good.
I agree with
fast.
you. I agree with you.
I think he would fit, but
And he's really fast.
Yeah.
Like on tape, he just blows by people.
mhm. I mean, Sky Moore is also an option there. I like Christian Watson a little better, but I think let's N'Keal Harry's not panning out the way we planned. Let's go Treylon Burks.
Okay.
All right. All right. Jared, Packers.
Well,
Pick
we all know
22.
what they are drafting.
Pick
You just gotta tell me
22.
who we're taking it. Swear to God, if you say defense, I'm gonna move them to special teams just to help out. Just so
No,
they
it's
don't blow another
worse.
game.
It's
no.
worse. They're picking a quarterback.
Respin it.
Yeah,
Respin it.
Okay.
We're not doing that.
He's
Darren
using his
Rodgers again.
respin.
We're not doing that, Darren Rodgers again.
Anything you want, your choice.
You would have 100. He would have 100 touchdown passes because he'd be so pissed off. Like, oh my god,
Might be the best pick, actually.
I was gonna say, geez. Okay, so they need a wide receiver. So obviously, there's no replacing what they've lost in Devontae Adams.
At least not immediately.
Okay, so
I'm interested to see what
This
you
would
do
be-
with this.
this would be the first time that they actually draft a wide receiver in the first round in 18 years.
Long time.
It's like 2004, 2006 was the last time they took a wide receiver in the first round. So, you know what? Devontae was from a smaller school in Fresno State, not like huge. Let's go.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Okay,
Dogs.
let's do it. Look, let's go with a guy that might be. He likes bigger wide receivers though, and Christian Watson's not a big wide receiver, but he's probably going to be one of the better fits for him. Let's go Christian Watson. I think you know what? I think he could be to Aaron Rodgers what Wes Welker was to Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just faster.
All right,
Just
Christian Watson, wide receiver, North Dakota State.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm picking for the
If Christian
Cardinals.
Watson got into the first round, that would be crazy.
He could do it.
Yeah,
He
it's
can do
possible.
There's a lot of guys that need wide receivers right now. Let's be honest. The Steelers just lost another wide receiver. The Steelers could use a wide receiver.
And I think how the draft goes, if whoever takes wide receiver, everybody gets scared. They start here come the wide receivers.
That's what happened in the quarterbacks last year. That's why they went 1, 2, 3 so fast. Like obviously everybody knew that the Jets and the Jags were pulling one, and then just so.
Okay, so I spun already for the Cardinals. Premature spin there, but I got defensive lineman,
Sure.
and
Replace
I'm
Chandler Jones.
gonna go ahead and take George Karlaftis.
There you go. Good pick.
So there you go. I think that's all to say about that. All right. Caleb,
gosh.
you're up now.
My other favorite team. Oh my
The
gosh.
Dallas Cowboys are trading their pick away.
So that's awesome.
You still have a respin if you want.
Yeah, respin. I want to pick for the Cowboys.
Okay. All right.
Once we get traded in.
Wide receiver.
Wow. Okay.
There's a lot of wide receivers. Hey, though,
Wow.
there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. So
Yeah.
I don't think this many will go in the first round. I think this is ridiculous. But
No, and they won't take one, but with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup there,
yeah,
they don't need one.
No.
But it would be, they would be freaky good if they took one here again. My favorite wide receiver on the board right now is George Pickens.
Same. And I know once again, Georgia player. I'm a Georgia fan. Could be biased, but genuinely, having watched George Pickens play for the past few years,
Oh, he's good.
I think he, in a few years, could be the best receiver out of this draft.
That's impressive because this is a deep. I mean, supposedly it's a deep wide receiver draft. We'll
Yes.
see in a few years, obviously, but
And he hasn't had as much of a kind
Jeez.
of hasn't had as much hype as some of the other guys because he was out for he got hurt. He tore his ACL in the middle of last year and then didn't play till the very last few games of this past year. I think he played
That's a
in
steal.
the championship.
He might fall
And,
somebody.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
could.
I think so.
But who you think? Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, George Pickens?
George Pickens.
George Pickens for the Cowboys.
Mhm.
All right. Buffalo Bills pick 25.
Spin me a quarterback.
Spinning you? Any offensive player.
Okay. All right. That's great because
So many receivers taken on.
I know. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take best available because the reality is you can never
Still go
have too
offensive
many.
lineman.
You can't have too many good offensive linemen to protect your most valuable asset. I'm going to take Charles Cross.
Oh,
Yeah,
I feel
thinking
like
the
an
same
idiot.
thing.
I forgot
I don't
he was
know.
still on the board.
I don't even know how he's still up. I
I
don't know how he's still available, but I can tell you right now, if Josh Allen gets a guy like that at 25 to block for him, oh my gosh. And right now, everybody in Tampa Bay would be like, no, we almost had him. He's so close. 2 more picks. That's all.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that would have been amazing for Tampa Bay. They ended up with Charles Cross.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine they lose? Who'd they lose to?
Gosh.
Cincinnati. They lost
I
somebody
can't remember
to
his
Cincinnati.
name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Oh my gosh. Tom Brady would flip out. Yes.
Yeah.
Running it back. There's only one team that can compete with us, and that's the Rams, and that's it. Rest of this league, let's go.
All
Everybody's
right.
in the AFC.
Number 26, I'm picking for the Tennessee Titans. Then I'm taking an offensive lineman. An offensive lineman. They do need that. And I think, I can't remember. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm taking Tyler Linderbaum. I'm taking Tyler Linderbaum. That's what I'm taking.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. You can never go wrong with an Iowa boy on the offensive line. You know
It's
what I mean?
true.
Like,
It's true.
you just can't go wrong.
It's true. And he's the best. I mean, there's no question about it. He is the best center in the draft. So if you're going to take an inside offensive lineman.
Yeah, and they can move him.
And they can move him right or left if they need. So.
You need somebody to create holes for Derrick Henry anyways. Let's be honest.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Tampa Bay. Caleb, you're picking any offensive player.
That's what I want. Now, the hard part is, I think they need an interior offensive line. But when you look at the tackles, there is one tackle on there that is still up there. Do you take him? I mean, you have Tristan Wirfs, who was his second or third year. He's legit. Oh, gosh. I think they obviously have a guy that they want, that Tom Brady wants. I'm going to take Zion Johnson.
All right. Zion
guard
Johnson.
from Boston College.
Guard, Boston College. All
I
right.
think they need a guard a little bit more than tackle. And
yeah, I think that's fair.
Well, I get a draft for Green Bay again. Sweet.
Green Bay again.
Let's do it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, defensive lineman. You almost had offensive lineman. But defensive lineman. So edge rusher or D-line.
I think this is easy. I mean, it really comes down to 2 guys. I'll take Devontae Wyatt. He's still available, right?
Yep, he sure is.
Okay, good. I'm going to take Devontae. I think that's an easy pick.
Yeah, that's a nice pick for them.
I mean, Christian Watson and Devontae Wyatt, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I think, look, if they can, honestly, what I think I don't think they would do this because they're too stupid to do this, but I think Green Bay should trade up to make sure that they get their pick at a wide receiver. I think they trade the 22 pick and they package it with one of their later picks, and then they go up to the middle of the first round, like 14, 15, right around where the Eagles are / the Ravens or something. And they go and make sure that they get one of the wide receivers that they want. They might not get the number 1 guy they want, but they get 1 or 2 of them, you know? I think that's the only way that they should draft. All right.
I think they definitely trade up to jump Eagles, Saints.
Yeah, I think so too. They should.
All right. I'm picking for the Chiefs.
Back-to-back picks.
And I'm picking anything I want. I accidentally just spun the wheel again. That spin means nothing. Okay. They must select. For me, I say offensive lineman, Trevor Penning. I'm taking Trevor Penning.
That's not a bad pick.
They got another pick. If they want to take a wide receiver, they can take him next pick. But maybe they can't.
They just drafted. They just traded for Juju. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they should take a receiver. I don't really know that they should. But
Well, today I think one of their wide receivers just got arrested.
That sounds about right.
It may have been Byron Pringle who got traded, but I don't remember exactly. But yeah.
All right. Well, I did accidentally spin receiver in the middle of that. I accidentally clicked it and it spun receiver. So if you want to stick with that, we can do that, or I can spin again.
Sure.
At this point.
Yeah, spin again. There's not.
All right, spin again.
I don't know if there's another wide receiver worthy of first round draft pick. We've been reaching on a lot of wide receivers.
All right, Lucky Caleb, you get your choice.
Oh my. Okay.
Kenny Pickett's still available. Just throwing it out there for you. I know that Patty Mahomes is Patty Mahomes, but you just never know.
I'm gonna go with actually another injured guy that I really like. That's David Ajabo.
Yeah.
Ajabo.
I almost picked him for the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing that they do well at Michigan, it's develop defensive players. They might not be able to have the greatest offense in the world, but their defense is usually pretty stout.
Yeah, I like him. I think the Chiefs, they have to replace Champ. Well, no, it wasn't Chandler Jones. Why was I thinking that's the Cardinals? Anyways,
you have to replace Tyrann Mathieu. That's for sure.
That's true.
That is true. All right. Cincinnati Bengals pick 31. Jared, you are selecting a wide receiver.
Listen, I know that sounds funny, but the reality is, like, you have Jamar Chase, you have, you do have a couple of wide receivers. Man, this would be the 8th wide receiver taken in the first round.
That would be wild.
That would just be insane.
I mean, they have to go O-line here.
Yeah. If the Bengals don't go O-line here, they're insane. It doesn't matter who is available. They have to take offensive line.
So here's what we'll go. We'll take Kenyon Green, and then we'll just move him to the outside if we have to.
You're going to take Kenyon Green as a receiver?
Yes.
As a receiver, and then we'll just put him out there and then we'll just throw jump balls to him because no corner is going to be able to box him out. You know what I mean? It's a basketball play, really.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
I mean, are they really going to take a wide? Do I have to take a wide receiver?
You have to take a wide receiver.
Okay, give me Dotson out of Penn State then. You know what? No, give me Sky Moore.
All right, Sky Moore.
They're going to take the Western Michigan because he's going to be as good as Antonio Brown, just without all the problems. You know.
All right.
Those.
All right. Well, I'm selecting the 32nd pick, the Detroit Lions. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna use my respin. Haven't used it, and I got wide receiver, so I don't want to do that again. Oh, let's go. Quarterback. Detroit Lions, quarterback. That was lucky.
Oh my.
Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Kenny Pickett, Detroit Lions. I got to pick 2 quarterbacks in this draft. I took Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett. Those are my 2 QBs.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to question the validity of my spins, you can watch the YouTube video.
We'll watch it back.
And,
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's our first round. We can do the second round if we'd like
No.
later on, but
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, later.
but
No, I think that was a lot of fun. I think looking at it, there's a lot of Georgia players.
Yeah.
Georgia had national champs, so
Yeah.
Probably best defense
Yeah.
in a long time,
Yeah.
and but way too many wide receivers in this draft.
Yeah. And here's what I would say about Georgia. Georgia's defense this year in this draft is going to be very similar to what LSU's offense was when Joe Burrow came out. They had a lot of offensive weapons, wide receivers. They had a running back. They have some offensive linemen. Like their offense, I mean, obviously he didn't throw for 60 touchdowns. He had a total of 60 touchdowns. I think he threw for 50 of them, though, that year. And they had a ridiculous amount of offensive weapons and offensive linemen that came out in the first couple of rounds that year. I think you're going to see something similar to that. I don't know if you'll see – I think there was 6 or 7 Georgia players in the first round. That might happen. That might not happen, but we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 in the first round. Ooh, it's a lot.
That is a lot.
Make Josiah happy.
Yes, it will. That'll make me very happy.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that could definitely use some good defensive players to sew up some big holes on their team.
Yeah.
Who ended up in our draft getting Thibodeau from Oregon?
Thibodeau, I think he went to the Falcons.
Okay.
I believe. Let me go up and
Yeah.
check.
I think some of the players
Yes.
that it's going to change the draft on draft day. I think Thursday, but we're recording this Monday. Wherever Thibodeau goes and wherever Kyle Hamilton goes,
I'm excited for this draft.
and then I'm also really interested to see where the corners go.
Yeah.
I think those McDuffie, Sauce, and Stingley.
I am interested to see them, and Ahmad Gardner. Honestly, I'm interested to see where he gets taken, but I'm definitely interested to see what order they get taken in. I think Stingley will probably be taken first, but
my bet is on Sauce.
It wouldn't be surprising to see Sauce Gardner go first. I would be surprised to see Trent McDuffie go first, but he's my favorite corner out of the draft. So
If Sauce ends up being available at number 4, I could see the Jets taking him at 4, or the Jets trying to take him at 10 if he's available.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I don't think he'd make it to 10 though.
I don't think
see
he'll make it to 10.
how he can. Make it to 10.
I think the Giants could take it. I think the Giants will take a defensive player and then an offensive lineman. I think those will be the 2 picks for the Giants.
I think realistically, the best pick at 10 for the Jets will either be McDuffie.
No.
Trading for Debo is the best pick for the Jets.
Well, I mean that's fair. That's fair. They probably should trade for Debo, but if they're going to take another player at 10, I think they need to take a defensive player. A linebacker might be good though. Nakobe Dean they ended up with Nakobe Dean in this draft. That's actually not bad. Devin Lloyd would also be good, but I think at 4 they get a good edge rusher. So
if they go 2 defensive players and they don't get Zach Wilson, an offensive player of any kind, the Jets fans are going to absolutely lose their minds.
That's true, and I mean,
you might see hysteria out there at the Meadowlands.
the other thing is, they could take an offensive lineman.
They could. An offensive lineman is better than no offensive player at all. Like at this point, they just need somebody for Zach Wilson. Like they need to get him some kind of help because he has.
Honestly, an offensive lineman at 4 might not be a bad idea. Taking if Evan Neal falls there, take him. If not, take someone else. I don't know, but
so my last question for you guys is over under 4 trades. I don't know what the line is right now in Vegas for trades in the first round, but I'm gonna say over under 4. What are you guys going? Because I think there could be a lot of trades in this first round.
See, I think there's already been a couple of trades, right? Because the Saints had that trade. The Eagles ended up having a trade. I don't know how many more trades you're going to get, per se, in the first round. I'd probably go under on 4. I could see 3 of them happening. I could see somebody that's not – I'm going to say somebody that's not very smart trading up to try and get Pickett at, the top 10 or something where I don't think he's going to be that good. Right. Or whoever it is that you think is the best quarterback in the draft. I just don't see the need in the quarterbacks this year that you have to have one this year. I'd probably say 3.
I'm gonna go with under 4. I'm gonna go with under 4.
I should have put it at 3.
I could see Kansas City making a trade because they have those back-to-back picks. I could see somebody coming in. I could see them making a trade.
Let's say
I could see
3.5.
There you go.
That's the line. So if you think it's going to be 4, you hit the over. If you think it's going to be 3, you hit the under.
Yeah. Green Bay for a wide receiver for sure, possibly.
And then you and Saints who have 2. So you could see somebody move in there.
Yep, totally.
And the Texans and the Jets. There's a lot. Anyways, I think we've gone long enough.
Yeah,
Jared,
absolutely.
Thank you. Go listen to Facts for Facts podcast. I listen to it. I get my no BS sports from you, man.
There you go.
But sometimes I have PTSD and it takes me back to the gym when he was yelling at me playing basketball. But I get over it.
Thanks
he
for
doesn't
having me
yell,
on, guys.
I
had a blast. I don't. I try not to yell. I definitely am a yeller, but I appreciate having me on. These are actually a lot of fun to do and like just get on and converse, because when I get on my podcast, it's just me going off on whatever it is that day. I'm probably going to put one on tomorrow, going off on the playoffs tonight.
All right.
Watch some of the closeout games. I'm sure that Toronto's going to end up closing one out or something, so we'll see.
When do the Hawks play the Heat for the final time? Is that tomorrow?
I believe that's
they played last night.
Yesterday is when they played.
They're going to lose again. But
yeah, they are going to lose again, unfortunately.
Hawks are bad.
And they made the playoffs. You're all right.
Hey, no. All right. And hey, Georgia people can't complain this year. I'm
you can't.
fucking happy.
Yeah.
We got 2 national championships in our state this year. We're done. We're good.
You got the Braves won the World Series. You know,
and
you got the
won the championship.
That's right, man.
So we're happy. But thank you for listening. Follow us at West Nale Virus on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok. We're on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff.
Jared, what is your tags for social media?
The social media tags are it's going to be at Facts or Facts Podcast on Instagram.
Okay.
That's where I post all my stuff.
Perfect. Right. And we'll tag you. We'll tag him in all of our stuff too. So perfect.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right.
See you guys.